Glad to have you join me on yet another informative edition of Housing Development. As always, I am your housing diva, Flora Annie. Housing is widely recognized as a human right, yet Nigerians' low-income households in particular struggle when it comes to finding adequate shelter that does not leave them in financial difficulty. Even though the scarcity of affordable housing affects all segments of the society, it is notably low-income earners who are mostly affected. The federal government currently launched a portal for its 5,000 housing units, which are under different phases of completion. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, said Nigerians can now apply for these houses built under the current federal government National Housing Program in 34 states of the country. And guess what? A one-bedroom apartment is sold for 7.3 million naira. The question is, how many Nigerians on a minimum wage of 30,000 naira monthly can afford it? We will be discussing these and more on the program today, right after the trending news in the housing sector.
Stakeholders in the real estate sector have identified lack of access to construction finance by private developers as a major factor militating against the realization of affordable housing delivery in the country. The experts who spoke at the Housing Investment Forum in Abuja noted that the proposed bond by the federal government will accord the sector the prominence it deserves in addressing mass housing issues. Setting the tone, Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, said improving housing financing will bring about quality, reliable and sustainable real estate. Fashola also stated that the problem facing the industry has not been solved in any part of the world and urged developers, mortgage institutions and other key players to set achievable targets for government. The Nigerian Institution of Surveyors, Lagos State, has called on state governments, especially Lagos, to enact a law that requires periodic monitoring and deformation study of all buildings that are above 2 floors, especially high rises in the states of the Federation. The chairman of the institution, Adeleke Adeshina, who said this in Lagos recently, said the move would restore investor confidence in the real estate sector. The expert spoke against the backdrop of the recent collapse of the 21-story building in Ikoyi, Lagos. Adeshina added that smart cities must consider the importance of GPS technology as an important player for monitoring the tall buildings still under normal behavior. The President, Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, NIQS, Abator, has stressed the need for Nigeria to develop infrastructure that are environmentally friendly, economically responsive, financially attractive, that considers social factors, and institutionally sustainable. Briefing journalists on the biennial conference and general meeting of the NIQS on climate change and global disasters, developing sustainable infrastructure amidst declining economic resources, TOR urged the federal government to consider moving away from expensive, unreliable and highly pollution carbon development to more climate resilient society that ensures low carbon growth. According to the NIQS president, it is no longer news that climate change poses huge threats to mankind and to the survival of our shared world. He observed that in order to promote better policies for the people and the environment, the Institute has crafted out the theme of this conference to address climate change and sustainable infrastructure development.
For more housing, finance and construction news, do well to visit www.africanhousingnews.com. With the launch of the federal government portal for the sale of houses under the National Housing Program, with the smallest house going for 7.3 million naira and a 3-bedroom house pegged at 16.4 million naira across the country, this has caused mixed reactions among Nigerians and even stakeholders in the sector. In a Zoom interview with some stakeholders, Dr. Joshua Egbagbe, the chairman of Value Chain Project Consultant, says less than 20% of low-income earners can afford the federal government NHP houses, and this calls for a great deal of concern. Take a listen.
Less than 20% of the average worker can afford to buy a 1-bedroom bungalow for 9 million plus. And is a flat in the condominium of a block of flats for 7 million plus. I mean, it's ridiculous. The money, if I remember, for this project is actually zero interest. Zero interest, because if my memory, is okay, I believe that this money was budgeted from our national budget. It's zero interest. Number two, the land was given pro bono by many state governments. I've been to the Plateau project. So it pains my heart. I do not believe that the minister is acting with enough information. I believe that all housing projects must be off-takers and citizen-centric. We should put the off-taker in the center. We build our designs around off-takers. We build our mortgage products around off-takers. We build our construction finance around off-takers. We build our location of houses around off-takers. In the same Bauchi, they are selling houses for 9 million because they're bungalows. My company has built houses there. We are selling 2-bedroom for about 4.95 million. We paid for the land. Okay, we paid for the infrastructure, roads, electricity, water, 100% commercial, funded by Federal Mortgage Bank, still a parastatal in the ministry. And yet we cannot, as a people, using budget money, using free land. Number one solution, government should give a subsidy immediately, 50% minimum. We are giving trillions of naira to oil subsidy. Can we not give right now a subsidy for these houses? Number two, a strong committee, a multi-stakeholder committee should be set up to monitor the transparency so that we get off-takers who have been profiled already. We get mortgage banks involved, family homes fund, developers, we involve Federal Mortgage Bank, we involve RIDAN, we involve their housing advocacy groups to design a way to off-take these houses to Nigerian workers in a transparent manner. Number three, we must fast-track the use of pension funds, the ROSA, Reserve Savings Account of civil servants who have been shortlisted should at once be integrated into the disposal of these houses so that there will be a chance for the Nigerian workers to benefit from these houses.
Also speaking on the issue of affordability, Mr. Idris Fonahami says 1-bedroom pegged at 7 million naira for NHP houses is way above the reach of an average Nigerian who earns 30,000 naira monthly.
With this price of houses starting from 7 million, affordability is to take care of government social responsibility. The issue of affordability is to ensure that those people who cannot have that money on their own, you come up with a financing model, an initiative that will leave no one behind, as Liverpool Football Club will say. But with the price of 7 million, it implies that those who would be able to afford that are people who are presently working and who can pay a minimum of 40,000 naira for 30 years. A minimum of 40,000 naira monthly for 30 years. If that person is able and to get a mortgage loan at 6%, that is FMBN loan. So let's not even go to where you cannot access the FMBN loan at that 6%. So today, if affordability, the minimum you can repay is 40,000, it means affordability is saying, as Dr. Adagbe has said, what can this man pay conveniently without stress on other social activities? The man must eat, the man must take care of his health bills, he must take care of the education of his or her children without strain. So they came up with 1/3, that at least, let's assume 1/3 of your net pay. Net, take note of that, net pay. So if what you have to pay for a house of 7 million is 40,000 monthly, sir, it means you must be earning nothing less than 120. It becomes difficult. So, and I do not know why government is getting itself enmeshed in all of this. All they need to do is to provide the enabling environment, support the people, support private enterprise. So the issue is that the price given by government as of today lacks what we call social responsibility, because they are pricing it as if they are private developer. So for God's sake, let them go back to drawing board. We've had a scenario where I physically package a government property in Gadua. A 2-bedroom was sold for 3.5 million. Gadua. A 3-bedroom was sold for 5.5 million. During the size of government houses, 2006, 2 bedrooms were sold for in the rate of those 3.5, not more than that. That is affordability. Is what is the measure? It's not for the bourgeois. The rich can take care of themselves. You want to take care of those at the base of pyramid.
Still on the issue of affordability, federal government 1-bedroom apartment selling for 7 million naira. Who can afford it? Estate surveillance valuer Shola Eniton says government should focus on putting infrastructure in place and not go into direct construction of houses.
Who is government building for? Are they building luxury houses? Government ought to be concerned only with social housing. Only with social housing. And social housing is rental homes. They have no deposit to pay. They only pay the rent for the month in which they are entering the home. And then, because they have, regular income, you take the salary and you draw from the salary every month, that rent. And after a while, you put the right to own before them and, you find them the mortgage and they pay for it. It must not go beyond what their current salaries, 1/3 of their current salary can carry. Even that 1/3 is to take care of all debts, both repayment of mortgage, any loan servicing, other loan servicing that they have, because they still have to send their children to school. They still have to cope with other issues in society. For goodness sake, average salary earner who works with government cannot even afford that 1-bedroom home that the federal government is saying is developing. Their focus should be to take care of the needs of the lower echelons of society, people who cannot engage the market prices. If you look at interest rates in Nigeria, there is no way that figure of 7.2 can be justified at all. At all. Because Nigeria is a place in which the average mortgagee is in a negative equity. Consistently under negative equity. They cannot get anything out of that rent. Once they collect the rent, they have to add money to it to go and pay their interest. So that is negative equity. Even this one puts the average income earner on a total permanent negative equity. They will never get out of paying for that home. So I think government has made a mistake, and that mistake ought to be corrected immediately.
The debate by these experts is that the country needs housing units that average Nigerians can afford, with the NHP houses and the lease house going for 7 million naira. They say it is imperative to study and assess the actual housing needs of the low-income earners, that before low-income earners can afford to buy a house, the price must be low or subsidized by the government. Right now, let's go to the streets to get the reactions of some Nigerians.
As least Nigerian, the price given is too high for us to pay. So I believe that in Nigeria we have many resources. The federal government has money to even provide house for us for free. So I advise the government, if they can beat down the price, so that the price come down to like that one bedroom bungalow that goes for 9.something million, then beat it down to 4.something or 5.something million naira, so that we can be able to afford it. And the one of 7.something million, let them beat it down to 3.something million for us to, or 2.something million naira for us to be able to afford it. I think if government can do like that, we can be able to accommodate it, and we can patronize more.
How much my salary? I dey come buy house for 1.something, 7 points. So if you look up for that area, government go look to easy for person to know say they will reduce our money for housing loan every month. But you know carry along of this thing to buy house for the civil servant like a level 8, level 9, level 10 to get house for your own self-contained. It's not of here like that. Government go to to look area for everybody for this world, make everybody there for available rest of peace to get house for this world. If it's I get land my own, you know I no fit to spend all the money like that to say I wan build house, I wan enter. I will do am gradually to easy for me. But I will come spend like 2 million to finish am. Is that one still a favor for me to know say everything be like that?
Instead of that, they should come out and help masses by giving them the money. Like if you give me 4.something million or 4 million, I will, by the end of 2 years, I will build more than what they are affording for a housing program. I will be comfortable. They should come out and help me with the money. Give me the physical cash, and I will use it well.
Voices on the street there. One-bedroom apartment selling at 7 million naira. Who can actually afford it? It is when we are able to provide houses that artisans and even a woman selling tomatoes at the market can afford. That is when the people will say that there is affordable housing for the common man. Let's go for a short break. I'll be back.
What is the name of my grandson?
Suleiman.
That's a good name. May the Almighty preserve him.
Amen.
Now that your family is growing, this is the time for you to start thinking of a house of your own.
Abba, the thought of this has always been on my mind. To build a house now, you need a lot of money, and that is what is holding me back.
Sonny, what you need is a mortgage. NHF mortgage loan. With NHF mortgage loan, you own a house upfront and pay gradually over a long period of time.
Abba, I will go to the FMBN office right away.
Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
Welcome back. The program is Housing Development. To prevent speculative causes of the collapsed 21-story building in Lagos State, the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria have constituted current special investigative panel to carry out a comprehensive inquisition into the collapsed structure. The 9-man panel was inaugurated during a press conference held in Lagos State.
Following the collapse of the 21-story building in Ikoyi, Lagos State, the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, has inaugurated a 9-man inquisition panel to investigate the root causes of the collapsed structure. This is according to Section 1 of the Engineers Registration and Amendment Act 2018 that empowers COREN to investigate engineering failures. The president of COREN, Engineer Ali Rabiu, stressed that the aim of the panel is to prevent speculative causes of the collapse.
It's definitely an engineering failure. It's an engineering infrastructure and it's an engineering failure. So we are acting in line with our act to get the remote causes, technical of course, why this building came crashing. We must make sure that the recommendations arising from the work of this panel will be implemented by the government.
The panel is expected to carry out a comprehensive inquisition into the remote and immediate causes of the collapse, gather, record, and analyze all relevant engineering data available on site, and confirm contractors' compliance to Lagos State's building laws. The committee is also expected to find out the level of involvement or otherwise of practitioners on the project leading to the collapse, carry out an integrity test on the 2 standing towers at the site of the collapse, and any other matter incidental to the earlier stated terms of reference. The panel, which has been given 6 weeks to conduct a thorough investigation into the causes of the collapsed structure, has Judge Okoroma, the president of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria, as chairman. Okoroma assured that the panel would consider all the technical issues concerned to ascertain the real cause of the collapse.
What we're going to do is do the investigation on the soil of that environment. That's one. And then, of course, look at the design that was done ab initio, and then confirm whether that is actually in line with what this soil can carry.
Other members of the panel are Bumi Ajayi, a town planner, Buki Ejomi, an architect, 3 fellows of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Victor Yenuga, Eddie Atumoyogo, Ibikunle Ogunbayo, and other 3 members of NSE, including Nurain Sulaiman, Will Berasibu, and Tomide Akinawa. It is expected that the outcome of the investigation would put an end to all forms of speculations on why and how a structure of that magnitude collapsed, and the recommendations from the panel will be implemented by the government.
We do hope that the outcome of the investigation will put an end to all forms of speculations on why and how a structure of that magnitude came down crashing. I'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Bob Weinsheng, CEO of iBuild Global. Keep watching the Housing Development Program.
The program is Housing Development. Coming up next is our Woman Crush for today. She is the first female quantity surveyor in northern region of Nigeria and also the first female president of Nigerians Institute of Quantity Surveyors. Now let's unveil this amazing woman.
Introducing our Woman Crush Wednesday. She is none other than Mrs. Mercy Ayote. She is the founder and pioneer managing partner of Z Habits Limited, a company she started in 1991. She had her university education at the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and graduated with a BSc in quantity surveying in 1979. She was born into a renowned family in Benue State, Nigeria. Mercy demonstrated hard work, intelligence, and commitment from her early years, where she actively participated in various extracurricular activities such as hockey, volleyball, netball, track and field events, and drama. Mercy Ayote had her postgraduate education at University College London, where she obtained an MSc in Architecture, Building Economics, and Management in 1983. She continually strived for self-development and obtained a certificate in International Project Management in 2005 and a certificate in Entrepreneurial Management from Pan-African University, Lagos Business School in 2010. She was pioneer and founding chairperson of the Women Association of Quantity Surveyors, the first woman to represent the institution on the Council of the African Association of Quantity Surveyors. Recently, she kept it all as the first female president after 46 years of the institution's existence. She has set records in many spheres of life and can be rightly described as a woman of history. For these reasons, Mrs. Mercy Ayote has been chosen as our woman crush this Wednesday.
Our Woman Crush Wednesday segment is open for sponsorship. Let's display your brand as we celebrate our women. You can call 081-665-70090 or send a mail to housingprogramoneit@gmail.com. Every family has the right to enjoy decent and affordable housing. Many thanks for watching Housing Development. You can watch today's episode over again and previous ones on the YouTube channel Housing TV Africa. I remain your housing diva, Fleur Annie. See you soon.